Today we will be discussing topic 2, conceptualizing the environment and understanding people. To start off, this book defines built environment as a response, which leads to a common framework that finds its final form in the communication and elaboration of the society. Fisher-Kowalski's transdisciplinary framework has two main aspects. The first is the socio-economic metabolism, which is basically the balance between the amount of material and energy we need and the amount of material and energy we use as a society. The second aspect we have is the colonization of natural processes, which basically states that the culture appropriate to its time is what dictates how we use the energy and material we mentioned earlier. The book then goes on to mention four improvements on today's understanding of the built environment, the first of which is the LCA, which stands for the Life Cycle Initiative, which basically means stretched time horizon, basically saying that the material/energy source in question is accountable for its environmental impact from the second it is in use to the second it is no longer in use. The second improvement mentioned by the book is a balanced system perspective, the most famous example of which is MFA, known as Mass Flowing Accounting, which basically is a standard that governments and companies use to ensure that quality and quantity equals requirements, basically a perfect 10. The MFA then goes to produce metabolic profiles that allow us to analyze and understand specific ages, companies, or countries, such as comparing the industrial age to the pre-industrial age. Let's move on to the second part. In this book, they argue that culture has both pros and cons, the pros being that it is not completely variable, and expressions of underlying constants can be witnessed, emphasizing human nature, something we all share within us. The cons to using culture as a form to understand people is that it is too brand and abstract to be usable. But this can be solved since culture seems invisible and intangible. You can fix it by expressing it through the terms of environmental quality and organization, which then leads us to its settings, which is something that is physical and tangible that we can use to understand. Now, culture plays different roles in different areas, in different environments and time. In non-residential areas such as shopping areas, for example, different cultures acquire different ways to display their products. Now, you may be asking yourself, but what if there's a sudden unstable political shift within the environment of which I live in that changes the culture? No, there's no need to worry at all, because there's two types of culture. The core culture, which slowly changes and it is very hard to change over time, and the peripheral culture, which is eager and is constantly changing. Anyway, thank you for your time. Have a lovely evening.